Okay, good. Item number 11, discussion of city code, title 19.03, 10 minutes.
Title 19 gives a lot of the roles and duties of various boards in the city. Obviously, you're the planning commission, so the chapters 5, 6, and 7 will apply directly to you. 8 as well. So you can scroll through those, and I assume you've read this, and I guess first off, are there any questions?
I'm just going to open up the mics. Hopefully we will respect one another, otherwise we'll have to start muting. Anybody have any comments they want to make on this?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I didn't finish the definitions, the comments I wanted to make for the definitions code. So since it's not on the agenda, I don't think I should make them here, but maybe we could put that up next time. And I don't know if there were any other comments as well, because I was one of the early speakers, and then I don't know if other people had other comments to make on the definitions one. But I had like 2 more to do. So I'll do that next time if it's on the agenda.
You're on.
Yeah, I guess we leave it up to the chairman if he wants to entertain that now, or just do definitions again at another time.
Can't we just loosely use our 10 minutes to look at code, and it doesn't specifically have to be?
Yeah,
I mean, we're not making any decisions here. We're discussing this, and this is just administrative. So.
Yeah, this was at your request, so it's your time to bring up what you want. Okay. Really.
Then, yeah, the only reason I brought it up is because in the past, the city attorney just said if it's not on the agenda, then it's not something we should really talk about. But maybe that's only for public meetings. I don't know.
I would certainly be in favor of going back to the definitions. The problem are the reason we didn't get all the way through is we just ran out of time.
Right.
And so if we need to come back and start, on the definitions where we stopped and continue, I think that would certainly be appropriate for another meeting.
There's also
this, I mean,
I completely agree.
We're supposed to look at this.
Well, I'm not hearing anything on 19.03. Let's see if we have any comments. We might have time tonight.
Okay, let's jump in.
We do have a section called commission comments, so we could talk about code at that time too.
All right, let's jump into the code. So anybody have any comments on the code?
I do.
Commissioner Kilgore, hit it.
On 19.03.11.2, it says there at the very, where is it? Oh, okay. It says powers and duties of the hearing examiner, and on paragraph 2, it says at the end, okay, so it says, to hear and decide variances as defined in state law from the area, width, setback, or other terms of the land use ordinance, except a use variance shall not be granted. And I don't understand. So we're talking about granting variances, and then here it says a use variance shall not be granted. So
yeah, a use variance is just that. We have zones. Each zone says you can do X, Y, and Z in a zone, but somebody says, I want to do W in this zone, but the zone doesn't allow it. That's a use variance. You cannot grant a use variance.
Okay, so a use variance is different from just a regular variance.
Right, regular variances are typically, bulk in areas, heights, setback, that sort of thing.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that clarification.
Who is our hearing examiner?
Yeah, we asked Kevin
I've been twice since I've been. He's an attorney up in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
He's as needed, on retainer, basically.
Right, that's actually good because it fulfills the requirements of that.
Bill something. I have 2 more questions then. 19.03.12.4 says, how does one, okay, it says that a legislative decision by the city council cannot be appealed. So then how does one appeal a legislative decision by the city council? Or is there just no way to do that?
No, you can always appeal. I want to say that because our code says it does not go to the hearings examiner, and Kevin's not here, I want to say it goes to district court.
Okay. So
but actions of the council, they have to be held responsible as well.
Right.
And so there is an outlet for that, but I want to say it's a district court.
Okay. Then I request when there's a time to go over, making changes to the city code, or to the code, if we maybe put that in there, like, okay, so if we can't appeal a legislative decision, there should be somewhere where a person can find out where they can make an appeal. Maybe we just say legislative decisions can be appealed at district court, period. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just so that they know where to go. Otherwise, we're saying that there's only certain types of things that you can appeal, otherwise you can't appeal at all. That's what it feels like right now.
Did you have any other comments?
I
on
have
that?
just one last one.
Okay.
On 19.03.18.2. Let me find it. On that second paragraph at the very end, last sentence, and I just wrote here, please explain. So I guess I didn't understand. The requirements of this subsection may be waived by the city planner after consulting with the city attorney to determine that the application would be required to be denied if submitted. And I didn't understand what that last phrase meant.
Well, I wish Kevin was here. Provisions for hearing and ruling on variances.
I don't know if it's legalese or if it's just poor wording.
Well, it could be referencing back to how a use variance, you cannot grant a use variance. So if someone does submit an application for a use variance, the requirements of this section may be waived by the city planner after consulting with the city attorney to determine that the application would be required. So if someone does try and go through a use variance, it would be required to be denied. Perhaps that, I'm sorry, I'm used to a different program, which I scroll with the wheel, it'll pan the page up and down.
Yeah. Maybe it just needs to be reworded, or I don't even know if it has to be in there. Or maybe we say, because again, it just talks about variance rather than use variance in this case.
I think Kevin wrote most of this,
I believe he did too.
Yeah.
so.
Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? No?
Thought it was informative.
Commissioner Kilgore, time is yours if you want to go back to the definitions.
Okay, I only have, I think, two. Oh, yeah. We have, I don't know if we need it. Do you think we need definitions for food trucks? Because we have things, we have language about portable businesses, and we also have language about ice cream trucks. But now the city welcomes and allows for food trucks in certain times, certain locations. But there's no definition for a food truck, only about like portable things. And if it's the same thing, then maybe we just add food truck in that portable business definition, or I can't remember what that definition was, some transportation or something like that. But
So-
just maybe a consideration.
Let me just ask this.
Yeah.
Because I know they have to get certified. They have to get a permit just to operate a truck. They have to go under there's a lot of already state laws that maybe we just adopt whatever the state.
I agree. I mean, anything
This
just
just happens to be my industry.
Oh, here we go.
It's just a mobile food unit is what it's referred to by the FDA and different food codes.
See, that we
so-
only call out ice cream trucks. That's it.
Anything that sells food, even prepackaged food, like ice cream is just a mobile food unit. And, I mean, they have to go to the health department to get a permit and.
Right, so that's what we don't have. I don't think we define any of that except for specifically called out ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
So I think we should
So-
probably just include and food trucks or something like that.
So just the overall class, because, I mean, food trucks may cover the rest of it, but mobile food units is just.
Or maybe that's the definition we adopt, and that includes ice cream and food and everything else. But yeah, so right now we just seem to only include ice cream.
So you want us to look at the definition of.
Yeah,
of
and maybe
that.
incorporate food trucks in
Okay.
there as well, because that requires all these environmental health issues and stuff. And then I wonder if it would be useful to define the difference between a public hearing and a public meeting. Because we have a lot of places in the code talking about a public hearing is required, public meeting is required, public hearing is not required. And I don't know if residents who are reading the code knows what the difference is when they're just reading a public hearing is required, or if it says a public meeting and they think that it's a meeting where they could come and comment where it isn't. So maybe just somewhere as a definition include the difference between public hearing and public meeting so that residents know.
It's a good idea.
Just an idea. And that's it for me.
Can I just go back? So our definition of here of mobile food vendor, you want to see that further defined?
No, yeah, so I thought the mobile food vendor did not say anything actually about food trucks.
Well, okay, so it's a business that serves food and or beverages from a self-contained unit, either motorized or in a trailer on wheels, conducts all or part of its operation on premises other than its own, is readily movable without dissembling for transport. The term mobile food vendor shall not include snow shacks or ice cream vendors.
Oh, okay. It does not include ice cream. Maybe that's what I got stuck. Okay, you know what? Then I stand corrected. It isn't there. Thank you. I'm glad I brought it up.
Hold on. You had something you wanted to talk about first?
Well, I just couldn't remember if, I think Ken's suggestion on, whatever he just suggested. Public hearing, public meeting. It may also be beneficial, if it wasn't in there, I don't remember, to have a definition on like types of action, legislative, administrative,
So the public can read it?
if they so endeavor. But at least we'd have a reference.
Commissioner Steele?
And I just found this week. I'm afraid that what has happened is the fire chief has one definition for a drive aisle, and we have a definition for a drive aisle. And so, and I looked, and we don't have a definition for it. So I don't know if we need to put it in, but we sure should clarify it.
Well, we do list the dimensions of a drive aisle, so we do have a standard for that.
Yes, but it's not in the definitions. And now there are two projects this time that mention a 26-foot drive aisle, so.
Is that in the engineering standards?
Is what in the engineering standards?
The,
Definition of a drive aisle.
or the specifications? Drive aisle?
No, I mean, the only thing we have is private street.
Would you repeat that? Sorry, your mic was on. Now it is.
The lowest functional classification road we have is a private street.
Sounded better the second time anyway.
Yeah, gave me a chance to think about it.
All right. I believe that we have reached our time for this. Any other last minutes? I don't want to cut anybody off. Okay. Commission comments.
I will comment that this next chapter, we might as well count on it being longer or take more time, more meetings. And if we have a time that we don't have any other items, instead of us not meeting, that's when we really Meg Ryan has always said that our main duty as a planning commission was to work on the code. And so if we have a whole meeting that we don't have anything else, we could sure use the time working on the code.
And that's standard procedure. I just canceled last time just because right before spring break, I thought if people were taking off, hey, get ready for that. Don't worry about playing. But typically, yeah, we would meet.
Okay, thank you.
Other commission comments? Director's report.
Nothing tonight. Trying to think of anything coming in lately down the pipeline. Still a lot of resubmittals of things, so those projects are actively moving on. Still working on the Beacon Point, the Village Plan 1A, as far as that subdivision plat. There in that outlines the special project area. That's been on hold just because they were making some changes, and so we expect that subdivision to come back into us shortly.
For the public knowledge, can you tell us what when the ball fields are going to be?
No, there is the grand opening.
19th?
Friday, the 19th.
What time and what time?
Boy, I want to say 5.
5 or 5:30.
Yeah. Then they've already been in use, obviously. They've already held some tournaments there. And One report was that parking was well out in the street as well. So whoever showed up, there was a good turnout for whatever tournaments were going on. But yeah, the official grand opening will be Friday, a week from Friday, tomorrow.
And that's where the employee picnic is going to be. It's going to be a luau, and we are invited.
Yep, there's a luau. Dress Hawaiian. Get your moo-moos out of the closet, put them on.
That's if seventh winter comes.
And
We've
they are
already
having a-
passed, well, we may not have passed sixth yet.
Softball game.
And we need to, you need to RSVP because they're going to have it catered this time.
Oh,
Yep. Have you seen the Fat Cats coming along? I want to say they want to open up in, I thought I heard June.
No, they were targeting Splash.
Yeah.
What's the timeline on the police station? That's gone up. fast.
Please, yeah, have you been down by the police station at all? Obviously, it's gone vertical.
Why?
They're planning on being complete by the end of the year.
Wow.
I don't know if landscaping will be in at that time. Obviously, typically with water cut off around mid-October. I don't know if they'll have landscaping in by then. If not, they'll just hold off till spring. But as far as occupancy of the building, they're shooting on by the end of the year.
And what's the fate of this place? It remains,
What happens here?
yeah, what happens to the space that they
Police
vacate?
will obviously vacate. There'll, I'm sure, be some remodeling downstairs, and then a lot of the administration that's upstairs, the city manager, accounts payable, that sort of thing, city recorder, they will all move downstairs.
Great.
And we'll get some breathing room up here.
Will this maintain the court?
No, the court will then move down to the police station. And this will then just become, overflow when we have to meet with developers or the public and planning commission, city council.
So planning commission will remain here?
Yes.
Court will be down there? Okay.
Until such time as the rest of the city offices move down there.
Will this eliminate the need for the office space
This is kinda
that's
worn out.
over?
Temporary office space across the street?
Right, we'll vacate the evasive. I'm sure most likely once police is gone, we shouldn't need the evasive anymore.
Okay, without objection, we adjourn. Thank you. Well, you got what you asked for by 45 minutes.